Divorce is often one of the most stressful and emotional experiences in a person's life. Many people assume that once a relationship ends, all that remains is sadness and tension. But Kandi's recent statement surprised everyone. She revealed that her mother, Mama Joyce, actually seemed happier after her divorce from Todd was finalized. Hearing this, people can't help but wonder, how can someone appear genuinely happy after such a major life change? This story explores that journey, highlighting emotions, family dynamics, and personal growth. We'll see how Mama Joyce managed to stay positive and supportive of Kandi during this challenging time, offering a perspective that could inspire anyone going through a big life transition. To understand the situation, it's important to know a little about Kandi and Todd's relationship. They had been together for several years, building a life that, on the surface, seemed strong and stable. Over time, however, differences in priorities and personal goals began to surface, creating tension between them. It wasn't an easy decision, but eventually, they decided that parting ways was the best choice for both. While the relationship ended, it didn't erase the history and the emotions they shared. Mama Joyce, Kandi's mother, has always been a central figure in her life. Known for her strength, wisdom, and no-nonsense approach, she has a way of seeing situations clearly, even when emotions run high. She is loving and supportive, but also realistic, understanding that life doesn't always go according to plan. In this story, she becomes a source of guidance and emotional stability for Kandi, showing that sometimes the people closest to us can help us find a silver lining in the toughest situations. Mama Joyce has always been a woman who approaches life with clarity and strength, and the news of Kandi's divorce was no exception. While others might have felt worry or sadness, she chose to focus on the positives. In her mind, this was an opportunity for Kandi to rediscover herself, to embrace new experiences, and to step into a chapter of life that belonged entirely to her. She often reflected quietly, thinking about how growth sometimes comes from change, even when it's difficult. Her interactions with Kandi were full of encouragement and support. She reminded her daughter that happiness isn't dependent on anyone else, but on how we respond to life's challenges. Even in casual conversations, her tone was uplifting yet honest, gently pushing Kandi to see the divorce not as an ending, but as a beginning. Mama Joyce's perspective was rooted in love and realism. She understood that life doesn't always follow the path we imagine, but with the right mindset, it can still be fulfilling. Her happiness wasn't just about the divorce itself, but about seeing her daughter embrace a future full of possibilities. The turning point came when Kandi and Todd officially announced their decision to divorce. It wasn't a sudden choice, but a carefully thought-out step after months of reflection and difficult conversations. For Kandi, it was a mix of relief and sadness. Relief that they were finally being honest with themselves and each other, and sadness for what could have been. Todd, too, had his own struggles, trying to navigate the end of a chapter he once hoped would last forever. As news of the divorce spread, reactions from friends and family were mixed. Some were shocked, while others offered support, understanding that sometimes love changes form rather than disappears completely. Among all of this, Mama Joyce's reaction stood out. Unlike many who might have reacted with worry or disappointment, she surprised everyone with her calm, almost cheerful demeanor. She didn't see this ending as a failure, but as a new beginning for her daughter. Her perspective added a fresh and unexpected dimension to what could have been a purely sad situation, showing that even during conflict, there can be hope and positivity. For Kandi, seeing her mother so genuinely happy and calm after the divorce was both surprising and comforting. At first, she expected sadness or tension, but Mama Joyce's positivity shifted the way she viewed the situation. Kandi began to notice small gestures, her mother checking in with a smile, offering practical advice without judgment, and reminding her to focus on her own growth and happiness. These moments made Kandi realize that support from loved ones could transform even the most difficult life events into opportunities for reflection and self-improvement. Kandi also started reflecting on her own feelings. While there was still sadness over the end of her marriage, she began to appreciate the lessons she had learned about herself, her priorities, and the kind of life she wanted to lead. Mama Joyce's influence was clear. Her optimism and wisdom were helping Kandi shift from a mindset of loss to one of hope and possibility. Slowly, Kandi began to feel that the divorce, rather than being a setback, was the start of a new chapter where she could focus on herself, her dreams, and the relationships that truly mattered. As time passed, both Kandi and Todd began to navigate their new lives with maturity and understanding. They learned to communicate respectfully and set boundaries, focusing on their own growth rather than dwelling on past mistakes. Kandi found herself feeling lighter, more confident, and more in tune with her own needs and desires. The support and guidance from Mama Joyce played a major role in this transformation. Her unwavering positivity showed Kandi that life could still be joyful and fulfilling, even after endings she once feared. Mama Joyce's influence extended beyond words. Her actions and consistent encouragement reminded Kandi that happiness often comes from within and from the people who genuinely care. The divorce, which might have been a purely negative event for some, became a turning point. It allowed Kandi to rediscover her independence, embrace her passions, and strengthen her relationships with those who truly mattered. In the end, what could have been a story of loss became one of growth, resilience, and hope, proving that even the most challenging life changes can lead to unexpected happiness when approached with the right mindset. Looking back at Kandi and Mama Joyce's journey, one thing becomes clear: life's challenges don't have to define our happiness. Mama Joyce's positive outlook and steady support turned a difficult time into an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. For Kandi, witnessing her mother's attitude was a reminder that even in moments of change or loss, there is room for hope, strength, and joy. This story shows that the people who care about us the most can help us see life in a brighter light, guiding us through transitions that might initially feel overwhelming. Divorce, endings, or major changes are never easy, but with the right support and mindset, they can open doors to new beginnings. In the end, Mama Joyce's happiness wasn't just about her own perspective. It was a reflection of the love, resilience, and wisdom she shared with her daughter, proving that even life's toughest chapters can lead to unexpected joy. Looking back at Kandi and Mama Joyce's journey, one thing becomes clear. Even in life's hardest moments, love and support can transform pain into strength. Mama Joyce's calm, positive presence didn't just guide Kandi through her divorce. It gave her hope when she felt lost, a shoulder to lean on when the future seemed uncertain, and the courage to believe in herself again. For Kandi, seeing her mother smile and embrace this new chapter reminded her that happiness isn't something that just happens, it's something we choose, even when life doesn't go as planned. The divorce, though painful, became a turning point, a moment where both mother and daughter grew stronger, closer, and more resilient. In the quiet moments, Kandi realized that Mama Joyce's happiness was contagious. It wasn't just about celebrating the end of a marriage, it was about celebrating life, love, and the bond they shared. And in that realization, she felt a deep, comforting truth. No matter how difficult life gets, we can always find light in those who love us, guiding us toward hope, healing, and a brighter tomorrow.